Hello everyone, I am Walt. Today we're doing another tutorial here on the Enlightened Life, out in the rain, taking a nice walk around here, enjoying the greenhouse scenery of scenic Virginia. But yeah, today's subject is all about dealing with people. Okay, so a lot of people have difficulty dealing with other people for a long period of time. You may have heard the famous quotes such as fish and company begin to stink after 3 days, the Ben Franklin quote, I believe there. And of course the quote, I'm trying to remember who it's by, but hell is other people quote. And when you hear these things, you get the idea that maybe other people can be hell at sometimes. Now, this is especially true maybe for, depends on if you're more of an introvert versus an extrovert. Your opinion about people might have some dependence on that, but it really doesn't at the end of the day, okay? Some people really like to socialize, some people really do not like that process. And so for those of who basically for those of you who don't like the process of having to socialize, having to deal with other people, here's a little technique I would say is very useful for kind of getting through to other people and being able to deal with them more comfortably. So one of the big things about dealing with other people comes down to the fact that when you're dealing with other people, you need to realize what those other people want from you, okay? So I've done a video on Aristotle's 3 types of friendship: utility, pleasure, or the virtue friendship. Realize that basically every interaction with a person is very much about that. But overall, most of the people you're going to interact with, almost a take on it is that everybody is somewhat of a narcissist, okay? Everybody is a little bit narcissistic. Everybody cares most about their stuff, okay? They care most about themselves, what they are doing, what they want to know, that kind of stuff. So when you can realize that about other people, you can realize that dealing with other people comes down to giving them what they want, okay? The reason they are talking to you, working with you, doing any of that is because they want something out of it. It is not just because they want to know mostly your stuff. Now, if you have a virtue friendship, something that is really well developed, that's probably the case. But if it's like somebody who is just asking you about this or wanting you to do this, it's because they want something, because they care about it for themselves. It could be information, it could be labor, it could be a lot of different things. But realize that everybody is always after something from you. Sometimes it can only be to make them feel good about themselves, or to, find out what you're doing with your life, or it can be things like that. But once again, that's just an informational kind of commodity. So at the end of the day, dealing with people really comes down to understanding that they are always going to be wanting something. And when you understand that everybody is always going to want something, you can also give them what it is they want. And this is not a bad thing, okay? This is not a self-interested, people are always horrible approach. This is just the fact about people, and it's fine, okay? If people always want something, sometimes giving them what they want is the best option, and that works out great for everybody involved because they get what they want, you get what you want, and it's kind of an easy way to deal with people in that regard. But yeah, that's one of the big takes on it, is that everybody always wants something. And it's a technique I think it can be extremely successful if you really just put yourself in the other person's perspective and see what is it that they want here when I'm dealing with them. Do they need to feel good about themselves? Do they need to feel better? Do they need to feel like they're dominating the conversation? Do they need to know something? Do they want to learn? Do they want to be my friend? Do they want money from me? What do they want, basically, in the interaction? When you realize that everybody wants something, sometimes it's just to talk to somebody, The wants can be selfish, they can be self-centered, they can just not be. They could be just somebody wants somebody to talk to, or they want a new friend. That's not necessarily something that's going to be bad for you or self-interested. Some people are going to want to do things like invest with you. Some people are going to want to do things like help you out. And working with other people can be a joy. But when you find yourself having a drag dealing with other people, having problems dealing with other people, realize that every time you're having issues dealing with people, it just comes down to what does this person want. And then once you figure out what they want, you can figure out best how to give it to them if that's the best option. But basically, when it comes to dealing with people, realize that they always want something. Otherwise, they would not be, a problem to deal with in the first place. So every time you're dealing with people, they want something. Realize that. You can realize what you can do about it. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I am Walt. I will see you guys next time with our next video. So stay tuned. I'll see you then.